You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Syracuse beats Holy Cross 42-14 this afternoon. They are now 3-1 on the season. We just talked about the good aspects of this game, but yeah, it wasn't all positive. It was not all positive, all right? We do have to talk about some of the bad stuff that happened in this game. And I'm sure in the first segment of this show, you guys were like, come on now. Like, come on, Jackson, get to some of the bad here. Where to begin? I'm going to start with the run to pass ratio. I don't know what it is with our play calling. It's not that any individual play is bad. I don't often, at least with Syracuse, when they're on offense, criticize the actual play that they are running. Like the actual one. Like if it's a screen pass, bubble screen, a short hitch, a deep ball. Usually that's not the problem. The problem is they are not running the ball enough. And it stems from the Stanford game when they did not run the ball enough. I think LeQuint Allen only had 8 carries in this game. At least in this one, he had 16. That's a much better number. This staff just, for whatever reason, I don't know why they give up on the run. And the offensive coordinator is Jeff Nixon, but it's not just Jeff Nixon. I mean, Fran Brown's the head coach too. I don't know why this staff doesn't try running the ball more often. Kyle McCord threw the ball 50 times. 50 times against Holy Cross. Again, it's like they managed the game like they were losing the whole time. I don't know why they don't try to run the football more. And what is a screaming indictment on it is the fact that when they did try to run the ball, it actually worked. Once again, here are the average yards per carry for the running backs. LeQuint Allen, 5.1 yards per carry. Will Nixon, 4.1 yards per carry. Yassine Willis, 6.8 yards per carry. They ran the ball with those 3 running backs 26 times. And all of them had at least 4 yards per carry. 2 of them were over 5. 1 of them nearly 7. So they were running the ball effectively. Yeah, there were times in this game where LeQuint Allen or whoever would get stuffed for 1 yard, but that's going to happen. Even against an FCS school, not every run is going to be a 90-yard touchdown, right? When you're running the football, you are not expecting to hit your head on the goalpost every play. That's not the point of running. The point of running is to open up the pass. And Syracuse just doesn't run the ball enough. Not enough design runs in this one. It was not good. I think in the first half, I had it charted. Syracuse had 34 design pass plays in the first half compared to 14 design runs. I'm going to do the quick math for you. So 34 out of 48 is 71%. That means in the first half, Syracuse was throwing the ball or called a designed pass play 71% of the time. Especially against a school like Holy Cross, when the run is actually working, you can't be throwing the ball 71% of the time. Generally, I think a good rule of thumb in a normal game script is about 60-40. You can even argue 55-45. You should always, usually you're going to throw the ball more often than running on a normal game script. But 55 to 60% design plays. Not what actually happened, designed pass plays. Because when a quarterback gets sacked, it counts as a rush, but it wasn't a design run. Or when a quarterback scrambles, like Kyle McCord did in the first half at one point, it's not a design run. I'm talking about design pass versus design run, and 71% of the time they called pass plays. That can't happen. They got to fix that at some point, all right? That's now 2 straight weeks where I just don't think this team is running the ball enough. What else? We can talk about the defense a bit, but I really don't want to hammer them too much. I really don't, because I think they only had 1 bad quarter, and that was the second quarter. That's it. I really don't want to bang on them too much. On the first touchdown for Holy Cross, which made it 21-7, it was a clear miscommunication, blown coverage. Syracuse was playing cover one, and which for football novices out there who don't know what that means, it means that Syracuse was dropping one safety back. Okay? Jaden Gould, who was the corner that was beat on the play, it's not necessarily his fault. It was just a miscommunication. It was on him. It was on the whole secondary in general. He didn't follow his man down the field. He kind of stopped short. And Elijah Clark, the deep safety, was running to the opposite side of the field to a different wide receiver, which left the Holy Cross receiver wide open, and it was a 63-yard touchdown. Yeah, I mean, you can't have that happen during a game, but look, breakdowns, I get it. And on the second touchdown for Holy Cross, sometimes you got to tip your cap. I mean, that was a great trick play. It was a toss play out to the right near the red zone, and the halfback threw it to a wide open tight end. All right. But other than that, I thought the defense was terrific. I thought they bounced back in a nice way. Sure, I mean, you could argue the secondary should have been better, but I thought they were pretty good. Let's get to special teams. Oh, man. Okay. All right. We need to have a talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to have a conversation about our special teams. Oh, my goodness. Before I get to the kicking game, there were so many. I think there were 3 penalties off kick and punt returns in this one. 2 of them were like blocking the back or a holding, which took away some big returns. And there was another one where it was late in the game and Jackson Meeks just got too excited for his teammate and ran into the white, which you can't do along the sideline, and that's a penalty. Regardless, that's not acceptable. I mean, for Jackson Meeks, I get it. I'm not going to bang on him too much, not just because he had a great game, but also because you're getting excited for your teammate. You're hyping up your teammate. Did he maybe go a little bit too much by actually breaking the rule? Yes, I can live with that, though, especially at the end of the game when you're already up by 28 points. I can live with that. What I can't live with is the other 2 times when you're committing holding calls on a kick return and a punt return. That is not okay. So you gotta solve that. All right, we're going to get to the kicking game now. 0 for 3 on field goals. None of the field goals were actually that far away. Oh boy. All right. I don't think Brady Denenberg can be the kicker anymore. I don't think he can be the kicker anymore. I'm sorry. No hard feelings. I understand that kicking is hard. It's a lot harder than it looks. I get it. But he can't be the kicker anymore. The first field goal was a 28-yarder in the third quarter. And there's no coaching. There's no coaching or teaching moment to that. It was a 28-yarder that got blocked. And you can say, well, it got blocked. How's that on Denenberg? When a field goal is 28 yards, it's that short away. All the kicker has to do to make it a Division I kicker is hit a pop-up to center field. That's the way you got to look at it. You got to just hit a pop-up because you know you're going to have the leg to get it there. It's 28 yards. You're a Division I kicker. He has the leg to do it, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But you got to kick it high enough. You got to get it over the line. What is the teaching moment? And if you are an ex-coach or an ex-player, please leave a comment in the comment section below. What is the teaching moment there when a kick is blocked by someone who is not on the edge? They're not coming around the edge. They are just jumping up and getting a hand on the ball. What is the coaching moment there? I don't think the line can do anything differently, in my opinion. And to me, that is on the kicker for just poor execution. Because I'm almost positive that a special teams coach wouldn't tell a kicker, hey, from 28 yards, please hit a line drive right into the line of scrimmage. All right, that's the 28-yarder. And then the 45-yarder was just a shank to the left. I mean, there was no excuse on that one. That was a really ugly attempt from Brady Denenberg. So now you're 0 for 2 in kicking. The third try was 41 yards. They bring in Jaden O, the backup kicker. And look, he missed it. It was a 41-yarder, I think, from the right hash. And he missed it. And look, he hit the right upright. It was close. And he had the leg on it. So as much as he missed it, it was a respectable miss, if you want to call it that. You're not going to make every kick, but at least make it close. So maybe Jaden O should be the kicker. Ugh. I literally watched the Miami and Virginia Tech game last night, and I'm watching these college kickers now just drill 50-plus yarders in their sleep. I'm watching them drill them in their sleep. I mean, even in the end, it seems like across all levels that kicking has, the percentages have gone way up. I think maybe we need a kicking change. Maybe that's just my opinion. No hard feelings to Brady Denenberg, but those were two ugly attempts right there. Ugly. At least Jaden O got close. At least he had the leg on a 41-yarder and he hit the upright. All right? But 0 for 3. It got to the point where they had to go for it on a 4th and 18 late in the game. Whatever. Oronde Gadsden was invisible. Oronde Gadsden was invisible. 1 catch for 4 yards. After last week when he had 2 catches for 12 yards. They got to get him going. They got to get him going. I mean, this was a game where you'd think that you can pad your stats a little bit, and some players did. I mean, I know Kyle McCord had 2 picks, but he had 385 yards, and seemed like almost everyone on offense had a big day. Jackson Meeks had 160, and Hatcher had 59 and a touchdown, and another touchdown that was called back. It shouldn't have been called back. They got to get Oronde Gadsden going because, look, for a game against Holy Cross, they don't necessarily need him to win. But if Syracuse wants to turn this season around, and look, the ACC this year is kooky. It is super duper kooky. I don't know what's going on with the conference. I don't know who's good anymore, who's bad. Every week, it's just whatever you think you know is out the window. And you have to learn something else. But if Syracuse wants to take advantage of the fact that the ACC is just a completely weird conference this year, at this point, I don't know if there is a clear favorite. They got to get him going. Over the last 2 games, he has 3 catches for 16 yards combined. So those were the bad. There was more. I mean, the pass protection, it could be better for sure. Defense played a bad second quarter. But overall, I guess the silver lining is what I said off the jump. Syracuse won the game 42-14. They advanced to 3-1.